Greetings. Okay, hopefully by now Mr. Tran has finished going over the syllabus and everything is perfectly clear. And what I would like to do now is go over your first reading assignment, which is section 1.1 through 1.8 of either the text or LibreText. And before I do this, I want to bring something to your attention. In your textbook, Chapter 1 was actually broken into one part, Basic Concepts of Chemistry, and let's review the tools of quantitative chemistry. This second part, I think, is going to be more important for us to spend class time on, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the first part in the very first period, and then we're going to spend 2 periods on the second part, or 3 periods on the chapter. Okay, and what I want to do now is go over the basic concepts of chemistry and give you a feel for how we're going to be doing this semester. So I will go over each of these sections and give you an idea of what you need to focus on as you study. Okay, then when we come to class next Tuesday, which I think is the 22nd, we'll spend the first 20 or 30 minutes going over this material, and then we'll start moving on to the second section, which will be on the review of the tools of quantitative chemistry. Okay? The first section is a general introduction to chemistry, the scientific method, and in this early material, what I've done is created a question and answer type format. So instead of making this encyclopedia, so like a question, so what is the scientific method? What is the difference between a qualitative and quantitative information? I think this might make it easier for you to follow up and quickly assess the information being presented. The second part is sort of philosophical, and this is actually very important to me personally, which is a quick description on sustainability and green chemistry. And I hope you all realize that I'm following the format of your textbook. So this is the table of contents of your textbook. But this material is all original, okay? And we have a few videos here from some of the pioneers in green chemistry. Then we're going to get into the more core chemistry stuff that's going to be on your first exam, and realize that we're not having quizzes for the first two lecture periods because this is drop add, but this is the kind of material that would be in your daily quiz, okay? You need to understand the attributes of matter, that is, matter has mass, volume, and energy. You need to understand the phases of matter, that is the solid, liquid, glass, and what is a plasma phase, okay? You need to understand mixtures and pure substances, and there's a hierarchical tree here that describes this, and recognize that mixtures can be of the same or different form, homogeneous or heterogeneous. And you need to understand how to separate mixtures, okay? So you can separate heterogeneous mixtures through processes like filtration, magnets. Recognize a heterogeneous mixture has obviously different forms, whereas a homogeneous mixture is like a solution, and one way to separate a solution could be through distillation. If the different components of the solution have different vapor pressures, that means they boil at different temperatures. You can also separate many solid solutes in a solution through a process called chromatography, and here's a real nice YouTube video that describes that. Okay? These are all terms and concepts that are fair game for your first exam. On elements, okay? Here is the IUPAC, the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemists periodic table. And actually, during this meeting, I'm at an IUPAC meeting at the for the INCHI Trust, the International Chemical Identifier, at the NIH in Bethesda, Maryland, which is why I'm not here in class today. And I did this first part in a Q&A answer. For example, students often get confused as what is the difference between an atom and an element, okay? This is the periodic table that you can reach to on the class homepage. On the third day of class, you are required to know the name and letter correlation of every atom on this periodic table that is not shaded. And incidentally, when I say the name, I mean the common English name. So AU is gold, not Orium, okay? Then we get into compounds. What is a chemical compound? This is something that is bonded together. And there's a nice little YouTube video here on it. And this is also in question and answer format. Should be easy to go through. We're going to have a description of physical properties, physical and chemical changes. Now realize this table of contents is not mine. It's the same as the textbook that you purchased, okay? I might have done physical and chemical properties, but that's irrelevant. When we go over physical properties, terms like malleability, viscosity, ductility are fair exam questions, okay? And if we were not in drop add period, those would be fair questions on your on your upcoming daily quiz. You need to recognize the principles between physical change and chemical change, ways of evidence of chemical change, and you will also be experiencing this in the lab that is affiliated with this class. There are some example questions here, okay, that you can work through. And then a very quick introduction into energy. We'll spend far more time on energy when we get to the thermodynamics chapter. But clearly, the phases of matter are dictated by the energy that the matter possesses. If you add energy to a condensed solid phase, it might melt. And if you add an energy to a melted phase, it might vaporize. So a gaseous phase tends to have more energy, is more dispersed than a liquid, which tends to have more energy than a solid. Okay, hopefully you get a feel of what you need to focus on. And during the next period, we will review any questions you have. If you make annotations to hypothesis, we will try to look at those, although I'll be perfectly honest with you. Next Sunday and Monday, I have incredibly busy days. One of them is like a 12-hour day, and so I may not be able to get to this. But the following Tuesday, I should be free, and I'm going to try to Skype into class during the class period. I have a break during the class period, and then I will be back in Little Rock for your class next week on Thursday. I apologize for not being here, and I hope Mr. Tran has done a good job of setting you up with what you need, and I wish you the best of luck this semester. Good luck. Bye.